beautiful when you get right down to it. Yeah. You're beautiful. And I wouldn't change one thing about you. Yeah. Oh, 'cause you're beautiful. I don't mind telling the world about you, yeah. You're beautiful. And what about the way you love me?
Hey, everybody. And I had to start off with beautiful because, Jackie, can you believe this weather in February?
I know.
I mean, it is today was just beautiful.
Yes.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in today to Intellectual Radio, Voices of Change. Today, you heard me mention Jackie, Janice, Jackie. Today, I have a special co-host. Meet her. Her name is Jackie Ingram. She's an activist on the west side of Chicago, and she has a lot of other attributes. Jackie, tell the listening audience just a little bit about yourself.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I am a community activist. I work with the Westside Expanded Mental Health Services Program, and we have a mental health center located 3019 West Harrison. Mm-hmm. I'm also part of the Restorative Justice Community Court here in North Lawndale. So we try to keep busy. We try to keep our community alive and well. And Janice, thank you for having me.
Oh, it is an honor, believe me. And you're not the only one that we have, but you're going to be co-hosting with me. So I'm just excited about that. And we're going to have to do it again. It's something about that J&J, particularly when we're not talking about fish. Today's show, we have a special guest, Nieal Marie Smith. She's a director of KRA. Miss Smith, well, I'll find out if it's Mrs. or Miss. We'll discuss workforce development and available job opportunities. Do you need job training? Are you looking for a job? Do you know someone looking for a job? This may be you or maybe someone you know. Whatever the case, listen to the show and share. If you're on, give us a comment. Tell us hello. I'm Jan again, and Jackie's my co-host. Tell a friend or someone who may benefit from this great information. Myself and Jackie actually met Miss Smith at a community event. And Jackie, just come on, wasn't this lady awesome?
She's amazing, amazing, very positive, personable. And I think anybody that would go to that office will really enjoy not just her, but her partners in the organization.
I was really wowed by her. I was so wowed that, normally I don't, when I hear someone speak, normally I don't run after them and say, would you be on my show? But this young lady, I said, Jackie, I'm going to ask her.
She's amazing. No. Amazing.
So I asked her, will you be on my show? And she said, yes. So here you go. Miss Smith has information you can use, and it relates to job training and possibly job placement. Yes. Now, everyone knows, typically I do a news you can use, but today she has so much information. We're just going to get right to the discussion, and it'll be a discussion. But I always start with a scripture. Today it's going to be from Proverbs. And it says, commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Nieal Marie Smith. Nieal Marie Smith provides fiscal, strategic, and operational leadership, maintaining overall responsibility for program performance, quality of service, and contractual commitment. She also collaborates with members of the KRA senior leadership team related to meeting, exceeding contract performance standards. Her expertise is drawn from her considerable 20 plus years experience in community development, collaboration and partnership, strategic program planning, leadership training and development, talent acquisition, and supportive services for underrepresented individuals in the areas of healthcare, housing, and human services. Nieal, a licensed social worker, holds an MA in social service administration from none other than the University of Chicago.
All
And
right.
a BS, yeah, all right. What they call that? The Harvard of the Midwest? That's what I said. All right. And a BS in social work from Southern Illinois University, which is also a great school right here in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Help us welcome to the stage Neil Marie Smith Ross. Okay, what would you rather be called? Are you Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Ross?
I am definitely Mrs. Ross.
Oh, thank you. Oh, just like
And hateful.
wait, that's easy, just like Diana, right?
Yes, and that's my mother-in-law's name. So,
Oh
yep,
my
that's
God. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I see we have someone saying hello. Don't be shy. Say hello. Share, 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 share. There's a lot of people out there that can use these services or know someone that can use these services. Am I echoing?
No.
no, you're good.
Okay, I just want to make sure because we want to start directly with this conversation.
Yes.
And I'm going to just start out right out the gate. You know, normally, if there's something that you want to say to the audience, fine, or you could hold it to the end. But I really want to start out because I know you give a real good pitch on this organization, telling us about your services. So let's start with what services does KRA provide?
Okay, well, I want to first mention that KRA is a national Black-owned workforce contractor. So we do this important work across the United States, but we are Black-owned and under very, very, very wonderful guidance and leadership of our president and CEO, Knowlton Atterbury. So I want to put that out there because when you have such important work to do and you're doing it in the communities that serve our people, the added value is knowing that those services are, being provided by people who have had the experiences and who have had families who have needed the services. So I wanted to always make sure that I mentioned that we are Black owned, and that just provides that extra little bit of TLC that makes us go above and beyond for the people that we serve in our communities. So KRA has been around since 1981, and what we do is we operate workforce services in the communities, and we also operate business services. So it's a two-part approach. We do career services for the constituents in the community that need employment services, that need career pathways.
Mhm.
So I like to say that we do more than if you want a job, we can do that for you. We can help you find a job. But if you want a career, that's really where we specialize, and we kick it into turbo gear and help people create career pathways and meet their needs. Because one thing that's very important to me is making sure that we are helping people build healthy families, healthy communities, and that's going to come through sustainable work. Work where it doesn't matter if you are a professional in this industry, if where you're working closes and you get laid off, you can, one thing somebody can't take away from you is your certification, your education. So we want to make sure that we're equipping people in the community with the skills that they can take anywhere they go. If you want to relocate, you have a skill that you can go and live in another state or in another city in your state if you want to, and continue your work. So we make sure that we are developing those sustainable career pathways. But again, sometimes people don't really know. It takes a while to figure out where their passions lie. And so if you just need a job, if you need a job and you're ready to get to work, we can help with that too. But we do encourage folks to take advantage of, our full array of services, which I love to always highlight the certification processes that we can offer people through our services. So it really is a wonderful opportunity out here in the community. I operate an American Job Center, and that is on the west side of Chicago. We are neighbors with Jackie's organization,
Mhm.
Encompassing Center. So
Yes, yes.
we're about a block away from each other. So that those services are offered for us at 605 South Albany on Albany and Harrison. And then I operate a workforce center on the corner of 79th and Champlain on the south side. So it's 640 East 79th Street. We also provide these services. So it's important that the services are in places where they're easily accessible to the people in the
Mhm.
community. So we got South Side location and we've got our West Side location. So we are really I'm excited to be able to be doing this work for this community. One thing about workforce, people always say it's one of the best kept secrets, and
Yes.
it's been my charge because I've been in workforce now since April. I have my background is in homeless youth services. So when I decided that, I'd taken my reach as far as I could take it in that realm, I wanted to figure out how I could widen and deepen the services and my impact for my community members. And I thought, well, how about workforce? Because when I look at all of the violence that's going on, and the the challenges that we're having in the city with our young people, I know that having a career, having somewhere to go every day where you're feeling a sense of purpose and you
Mhm.
can take care of yourself and you can start providing for the people around you in a way that is legal and has opportunities for advancement. That's the type of thing that builds pride. And when you're able to start building that pride and your own sense of empowerment, that's how each one reach one, each one teach one. So
Mhm.
you start with a small seed and you sow it in good ground, and you let that spread. So it's always been important to me that we offer these services in the community, and I do believe that workforce and economic development is a huge answer to the challenges that we're facing in this city and in the world and our underserved communities. So
Mhm.
being able to be a part of that and to help be that vehicle for people to bridge that gap between needing the help and needing assistance and becoming the people that are on the other side, that are hiring, that are producing, that are building communities up, means a lot to me. So
Mhm.
we are very excited to be doing the work that we're doing. Chicago is under fairly new leadership. So myself as the director, and I have an operations manager named Rosal Shavirda, and she is exceptional at what she does. And so the two of us together, we've been doing this work for KRA for almost a year now, and it's been a wonderful ride, and just seeing how people are changing and doing great things for themselves and having a positive impact on the community is been a blessing. So I love the work that we're doing.
That's boy, that's a mouthful. But what I wanted to emphasize, particularly during Black History Month, is, and I didn't realize this, and you probably mentioned it and it went right over my head, is that it's Black owned. Since 1981, it's Black owned.
Mhm.
That's significant. Reach one, teach one, reach one. That you're absolutely right, Jackie.
Yes. You know what? It's an opportunity that most people don't realize that we have in our community.
I
And
didn't.
the good thing about it is when we were at the meeting with the alderman's office, you said something very important. You can't come into my office with an attitude. You can't come into my office if you're upset. You can't, and that is what I love to hear, because so many people are so misunderstood that they'll come in and they just don't know what they really want to do. But the way you explained it at the meeting, I said, oh my God, she's amazing. I have so many people that I've been giving your name to already. You know, like you said, it is a well kept secret, but we don't need it to be a secret anymore. We have to get more people into that organization so we can help more people. And there are a lot of people out there that really needs jobs.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
and I think that um to your point when I was talking about how we're treating each other in that space, it is important to me that I have people that work for me, that are welcoming to the people in the community and are treating people with dignity and respect, because
Exactly.
we all know, I think that we've all felt unwelcome in certain public spaces for
Yes.
whatever reason. Sometimes even if you go to get your driver's license renewed, sometimes you're treated like chattel, or as if it's an inconvenience for you to walk through that door. And I never want any of the customers that we serve to feel unwelcome in our spaces, or feel like we don't want to help, or we don't want to be there for them, or they're creating extra work for us. So it is important that everyone that works with me has that positive attitude, that they can greet customers warmly, that they're not treating folks coming in for services as if they're on a conveyor belt and we're just trying to crank out results. We want everybody to have an experience where they feel like it's catered to them. And that's why it's important that our coaches that work with our customers, they do a certain assessments. They get to know our customers. They get to know what they're passionate about, and we try to link the passion and the purpose to career opportunities. Because if we can get I always think it's funny when people say figure out something that you would do for free, and how can you do it and make money doing it. Well, that's not 100% realistic, but I think that we should be helping people figure out what they can do where they're going to feel edified and gratified at the end of the day, and feel like they made some impact and done something for their family, and you can do something like that and enjoy it. So we do assessments. We have these conversations to make sure that people. So one thing about the WIOA grant, so for the certification that we offer, because we do offer up to $8,000 in training vouchers for people to get certifications across different industries. So that is a one-time deal. It's very hard to get a voucher a second time if you're not successful the first time. So it's important that we are working with people to figure out, like, is this really what you want to do? Is this how you really want to take advantage of these services? So that assessment piece, that rapport building piece, getting to know people and going the extra step is important. Also, not working with the people who come to us as if everybody is starting on an equal playing field. So sometimes we have to go that extra mile. If you don't have but we all know how hard it can be to get ID if you don't have ID. And some people come to us and they don't have ID. So instead of saying, well, y'all figure it out, and whenever you can get it read, you can get it together, you can come back. No, it's our job to provide that added value, that little extra piece of customer service that is important to KRA, and help with those things. And I think that my background as a social worker really has helped to kind of advance our operations in Chicago, to be willing and able and prepared to provide that extra piece. So that's definitely that's my philosophy of care, and how we're treating people as they come through the door. But I did want to talk a little bit more about the actual services that we provide. I know I can talk a lot. I'm very passionate about what I do, and it's important to me that people know these opportunities are out here. So, what we can do for people, we can provide job services, employment services, and business services. So, if you're ready to go into a career, or if you want to change in your career path, we can help with that. We can offer up to $8,000 in training vouchers for people to get certifications in information technology, healthcare, hospitality, construction, manufacturing, transportation, distribution and logistics, and business and professional services. So anything that you can think of under those umbrellas of those seven industries, we can help with that. Our most popular um, certifications that people come to us to obtain are in TDL, transportation, distributions, and logistics, and that's what our CDL programs fall under. So people who want to get a CDL and drive trucks, and then of course healthcare is always popular. We can help with medical assistant certification, phlebotomy, EKG technicians, CNAs, licensed practical nursing. So healthcare is a big one. And then so trucking, so CDL, healthcare, and IT are our most popular trainings that people want to come in and get their certifications in. But I love to see people explore all of the different trainings and industries that they can go into, because we offer the training and opportunities in careers such as medical surgeon technicians. So the people who are there in the operating rooms, helping the doctors and the nurses make sure that people get through their operations and their medical procedures smoothly. We can provide certifications in human resources, all anything that you can really think of that you're passionate about and you want to do. There's a certification for that. So we like for people to be able to come in and explore and see everything that is out there for them. And then we also offer internships and work-based learning opportunities where people can come into our programs, and if they just want to get their feet wet in the in employment, some people, you'll be surprised, there are people, we see people who've never had a job before, and are of a significant age. So sometimes people have to get that lower barrier experience. So just getting into a job where KRA can pay for people to start working in in retail opportunities, you know the type of opportunities that you would see, like if somebody wanted to get a job at a grocery store, at a clothing store, at a gas station, those type of things where you're just kind of getting your feet wet and seeing like what it feels like to have to work with a team, to be on a to be a team player, to have to get up and be at work every day on time by a certain time, and how to manage your task and to manage your time. So we provide opportunities like that as well, so that people can actually get used to being in workforce, and then taking that experience and marrying it with the industries that we can provide certification in as well. So we want to make sure that we are preparing people well, so that once they get employment, they can keep employment. And then we also provide supportive services for up to a year for our customers. So anything that you need to make sure that once you get the job, you can keep the job and to get the job. So if you need interview clothes, we're going to help with that. If you need gas cards and bus cards to get to work, we're going to help you with that. If you need a tool belts, uniforms, anything that you need once you're in training or once you're working to be successful, we're going to provide that support to you for up to a year. So we really want to make sure that we're doing a very intentional handoff between our services, the employers, and the customers to make sure that they're successful when they get placed. So there's a lot, and these services are out there, and we have the capacity, we've got the team, we're ready to do it. But these services can be underutilized in our communities, so we want to make sure that everybody is taking advantage of the opportunities that we
I
have.
got a I got a question for you when you said everybody. First of all, you mentioned so many different layers of services. I got a two-pronged question. First of all, hypothetically, if I got laid off from work, I could come to you and start a whole new career, correct?
Absolutely. We are looking, we call that our dislocated worker
Oh,
population. So
oh,
anyone that's been laid off within any time over the past 5 years, we
oh.
can help qualify you for workforce services. So yes, so if you are laid off and you just and you decide, hey, I want to do something completely different than what I've
Mhm.
done before, we are looking for those people. Absolutely.
And the second question is, do you have an age range? Like, is it 16 to whatever? Is it people in school, people in college? Do you handle seniors?
So we recently enrolled um um a seasoned saint
I like
in
that. I like that.
yeah in our programming that was born in 1931. So
Oh,
I like to say from the age of 16 until whenever God is ready to call you home, we we are providing those services for you. So absolutely 16 all the way up. And for our youth program, which is 16 to 24 years old, those are out of school youth that we are helping. So um everybody is not meant for college. College is just not the route for everybody. My husband is brilliant. He's a very smart man. He can put a math problem together and do the Pythagorean theorem and all of that stuff that I just can't. But he didn't like school. He's a plumber and he's very successful. Traditional college is just not for everybody, right? So we also want to make sure that we're standing in the gap for young people who may have or may not have finished a traditional school or even an alternative school program. You don't have to have a high school diploma or a GED to be eligible for our youth services. Of course, we encourage that because while you may be able to get into training, once it's time for you to go into your career, the employer may want that. So we do encourage that, but that is not a barrier. And there are trainers that will, bring people on and train them and teach them what they are needing to be taught to go into these careers, into these trades. So it's not a requirement, but we do work with out of school youth because we want to make sure that we're standing in the gap for those young people who may have finished school or maybe did not finish school, and they want career opportunities, and they need an opportunity to learn a trade and be done with that training piece. And it's not going to take 4 years, or it's not going to take 2 years. And they can get out and they're making money where they can really take care of themselves, where they can really have a sense of pride and know what it feels like to earn a check and earn good money. Because of course these we're governed ultimately by the United States Department of Labor, and this is a federal program. So we when the government is being benevolent and providing these opportunities, they are also wanting to make sure that they're providing opportunities in industries where people can really make some good money. so that they can come out and be self-sustaining and contribute to the economy. So you are coming out of these trainings and you're making good money, not just minimum wage. You're making the money that you would need to have a good lifestyle.
And you know what? I'd like to piggyback on what you said before, that you dealt with a lot of homeless teenagers. Do you provide like apartments for these young people that we have in our community? And how do they get connected to you?
So my background is in homeless services, so and youth services. So as a workforce company, we don't provide that housing piece, but because of my social work, my background as a social worker, I have connections and resources and a network of resources where if someone comes in with those unique needs, that we're able to help with referrals and connections and all of that, most definitely.
Excellent. Good. Yes.
Okay, the other question that I have is on training. Is the training online? How long does the training last? And are they compensated for the training during the training part?
Okay, so that's a good question. There's two pieces to this. So before we enroll people, they have to go through our work readiness training. That takes a week. In that week, we prepare them to be job seekers and we prepare them to be good employees. So they learn about the history of WIOA, what services are offered and available to them through WIOA on the first day. On the second day, we teach them about effective communication and resume building. Mm-hmm. Then on the Wednesday, we do mock interviews and we talk about effective again, we're going over communication skills and how to be a good employee and how to be a good colleague. And then we're talking about financial literacy. So we have banks that come in and help us with those piece with that piece on most weeks, so that once you get a job and you start making that good money, you've got some tools on how to treat your money and how to keep your money and how to help make your money grow. And then talk about time management, workers' rights, and how to actually do an effective job search. So that's the 1 week piece that our customers have to go through in the beginning. So we also use that because in addition to being eligible for services, you also have to be suitable for services. So we like for people to be ready to take full advantage of these opportunities. So we want to see that you can commit and show up 5 days in a row, be on time, participate. So that helps us determine how folks are ready for services as well. So training, once you get through that first week and you decide, you work with your career coach and decide what industry you want to get your training in. Once you do that, that's when we help you with the voucher and you can go into your training. Training, it depends on the school and it depends on the industry. So as you know, like if you wanted to go into plumbing, that training takes 4 years, but as an apprentice, you're getting paid. If you wanted to, but some of our medical and healthcare programs can take 4 months or 6 months. Some of our trucking and CDL programs can take 6 weeks, 8 weeks. It just depends on what the training is and how long the school wants to train you. I know one of the IT providers that we work with, that's 18 weeks. So it just depends on what training you're going into. And in the majority of those, unless you're going into an apprenticeship, you aren't going to have a stipend. But if you think about it, one thing that I like to tell people, when an opportunity like this presents itself, you have to be in a position and in a mindset where you want to make an investment in yourself.
Right.
So when I decided that I wanted to kind of switch my career path, I had to take time out, sit back, and I actually hired a coach to help me figure out how to put my resume together, figure out how to do a proper job search, because I'd been on the other side of the table for so long. I needed to put that level of investment in myself. So while it is a time commitment, it's an investment. And what I can say is that you will look up, if you're going into a program that took 18 weeks, or if you're going into a program that took 12 weeks, you will look up and that time will have flown by so quickly. And now you've got the tools. Now you've got everything that you need to make good money. So while there is no subsidy in the day-to-day piece, getting these training dollars for up to $8,000 is a really big deal. And we also definitely again help with those supportive services. So with gas cards and bus cards, uniforms, anything that you need, we definitely can help with that as well.
You know, one of our people on the radio, they asked a question. Mr. Gray asked a question. What about the underemployed? You have a job but want to change careers, and I think you were hitting on that earlier too.
Absolutely. We love to see people that have decided that they want to do something different and they want to upskill. So if you've not um, accessed a training voucher before, you can definitely come in if you're underemployed, and access services. As long as you have the time to do the training, then you are definitely able to come in, even if you are working, but you're just not making enough to really make ends meet, or you want to upskill and you want to provide better opportunities for your family. We are definitely here to serve those folks as well. And I love it when people decide they want to change careers, because that's a very exciting time for people. They're energized, they're hopeful, and if we can be a help in that process for them, that's what we love to do. So absolutely, Mr. Gray, for those that are underemployed or want to have a job or want a career change, yes, these services are available to you as well.
Good.
I have another question. How successful are you after a person goes through all the training and get their certifications? What's the probability of them finding a job?
So it's absolutely our job to make sure that job placement is a piece of what we are contracted to do. Not to, and I hate to speak about it in terms like, well, the government says we got to find you a job, but I mean that's what we're being paid to do. So that is a part. Job placement is a part. So you will definitely get employment if a customer is doing the piece that they need to do on their end as well. We definitely have the capacity, the resources, and the way that the network is set up to put people into employment. So, in addition to operating workforce centers, this network that's under the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership also has what's called sector centers. So if you get your CDL, there's a whole sector center whose job is to help people who get those certifications find employment and place them in employment. If you get a certification in IT and information technology, there's a sector center that is there solely to help people who get those trainings and those certifications in IT to get jobs. So we are set up to set our customers up for success. So as long as the customer, our job seekers, are doing what they need to do on their end, as far as being diligent, as far as showing up for interviews, completing their training, and taking advantage of the services, meeting with their career coach, then you're going to get employment. That's a part of what we're contracted to do.
Wow, that's great.
Excellent. Very good.
And we also, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jackie.
No, I was going to say, so I work with the Restorative Justice Community Court, and that's one of our biggest things that we need to do. A lot of these young men and women, they don't have careers. They don't really know what they want to do. And I think sometimes they think that, well, I'll just do that. I like the fact that you go through a process with them to see what their fit is. Because sometimes, like you said before, they don't know. But now you're giving them options to say, well, you want to be a painter, you want to be a welder, you want to be a firefighter. I mean, whatever it is, those things are possible. And I always try to tell them, find a job that you're going to enjoy, because our weather in Chicago is very temperamental. So therefore, it may be nice today and cold or snowing tomorrow. And then you'll get up and say, oh, I don't know if I want to go to work today. Well, then that's when that extra kick comes in and say, whatever I got to do, I got to get up and do this, because this is for me. This is what I want to do. I want to change the way people see me. I want to change me. And I am excited that this collaboration, even with the Encompassing Center and Restorative Justice, and not just those two organizations I'm involved with, there's so many across North Lawndale, East and West Garfield Park, the near West Side, that all they have to do is just tap in, and all these people will be so excited about what you are offering. And I just want to say thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. And I'm excited to see the work that you all are doing around the restorative justice, because coming from youth services, that is definitely an evidence-based practice that has been tested and is tried and true, and it works.
Yes.
And I think that RJ piece, along with the resources and the opportunities, is really setting a young person up for a lot of success as well. So if you can learn how to talk through your problems and figure out, when you harm somebody, taking accountability for that, and, hearing from, your peers and other people in your circle, how those things have affected relationships and affected how people are functioning, and, how they're feeling. And then you say, and on top of that, here's an opportunity where you can not only give back to, your community, but give back to yourself. I think I'm really excited to do some work with some of your young people that go through your restorative justice program, because that's needed. That's really
Definitely
needed.
Yes. And, we always have to let them know that this is a little hiccup. The majority of the people that come through our program, these are first time offenders, and they haven't done any harm to anybody but to themselves and to the community.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why this is so important, and what you're doing is so important, to getting them to understand that even though this is I like to call them a little hiccup, none of us are perfect. It could have happened to any of us, but now we have something that can stabilize you in an organization that can follow you, can help you, so that you'll have a better future. Change the way people think about, I like to say us, change the way they see us. So, yeah.
Speaking of us, I got a question, because I know Jackie and me, we always focus on the West Side because we're proud West Siders, but our guest here is a proud South Sider. Yes. So my question is, does your office service the entire Chicagoland area, Indiana? What are the geographical boundaries, or do you have any?
Cook County.
Cook County, thank you.
Cook County, yes. Anyone in Cook County is eligible for services. But I do want to say that for our listeners, even if you've got people, down south, or if you got people, on the West Coast that you feel like could need services, WIOA is a federal program. So and those services are operated out of American Job Centers, and American Job Centers are throughout the whole country. So if you live in Indiana, you may not be able to get services from me, but there's going to be a correlating AJC, American Job Center, somewhere where you live where you can get these services. So this is a federally funded program under the United States Department of Labor. So there are opportunities for folks across the country.
And one of our viewers, Mrs. Carolyn Shumpert, she said, "Thank you. This is a good information to pass on to some of the other organizations in the North Lawndale area." So how do we get that information? How do we pass it on? How do we start getting people in to see you so that they can start these services?
So definitely, thank you for that question. When I do things like this, I like for people to understand that it's always my intention to be very hands-on. We run a small but mighty ship. I know everybody who works for me, what they're doing, what their schedules look like, what their days look like. So I like for people to know that there's going to be a high level of touch in the way that we operate. So I really do like for people. I know it may sound odd. I like for people to reach out to me when they have these questions, because my team is very busy, and if I can kind of help take some of that load when people are asking and they have inquiries, I like to do that as well. Plus I like to meet people and talk to people and help people get excited about opportunities. So you can look up the Westside American Job. Well, it was the Westside American Job Center, but now it is we've been rebranded since January as the American Job Center in East Garfield Park. And you can Google that, and it will definitely give you a link to how you can get in touch with us. We also operate out of the Chatham Education and Workforce Center, and that is at our Southside location. But what I would love for folks to do, if you are under the sound of my voice, just so that I know you're going to get what you need, please reach out to me, and I would love to provide my email address for folks.
Okay.
Which is and this is all lowercase, N as in Neal, my first name, Smith, SMITH -Ross, ROSS, at KRA.com. KRA stands for Knowledge, Responsibility, and Achievement. So N Smith -Ross at KRA.com. And the biggest referral system that we have people go to when they want services for our Chatham location, the Chatham Education and Workforce Center, or the American Job Center in East Garfield Park, would be to go to www.levelup. Let me just make sure of that. Yes, it's going to be Level Up AJC. So if you go to Level Up, LEVELUPAJC.org, that will connect you to this whole network of we owe services. But when you go to level up, look for the American Job Center in East Garfield Park, or for services at the Chatham Education and Workforce Center under KRA Corporation.
Okay.
But also, please send me an email. I love to hear from people. And I really do like, I like the process for myself. What kind of keeps me going day to day is um, the touch, that human touch piece. So I like when I meet people, when I'm interacting with people, and I'm connecting and networking, and they reach out to me just like Janice and Jackie did, and then we see what happens after that. So you shoot me an email and let's see what we can do for you. And then I like, when I see people that I've talked to or that I've been connected to through these type of opportunities actually show up for work readiness training, I'm like, oh my God, hi, I'm so glad you're here. What can we do for you? And then seeing them go through the whole process, I enjoy that. That kind of keeps me lifted up. So please feel free to email me or go to the Level Up website, or just you can Google the American Job Center in East Garfield Park and our services at the Chatham Education and Workforce Center.
Okay, I did put all those in the chat, so everyone should have access to them, and everyone can see all the email addresses, the URL for the websites, et cetera, and so on. Now, this is we're winding down because we only have a couple minutes left. I can't believe this. Does your office service special needs persons?
Absolutely, yes.
Oh,
yes. So we do work with people with special needs, and depending on the level of care and access and resources that folks need, we can serve people in-house at KRA. But if there's an extra level of touch that's needed, or an extra level of expertise and resources, then there are partners. We do have partners in the network that do WIOA services specifically with people that have special needs. So just depending on kind of what you need, what your unique situation is, we can offer those services. And if we feel like you would be better served with somebody who does that work more specifically, then we make that soft pass off as well, and make sure that we get folks connected to where they need to be. So yes, having special needs is not a barrier to be able to get these WIOA services.
Great.
And neither is being a returning citizen. So if you've got a background and you're ready to do something different, then we also help returning citizens as well. And I would be remiss if I let you go, because I know that a lot of your listeners are business owners and have small businesses.
Right.
In our business services department, we do what are called OJTs. It's called on the job training agreements. So businesses that have less than 50 people can get up to 90% reimbursement on training costs. So when you bring new people in, when you hire people, if we have this OJT agreement, this is also a part of the federal contract. We can help when you're bringing people on and you're training them. We can provide reimbursement for up to 90% of your onboarding and training costs for new employees. If you have more than 50 employees, then we can do that reimbursement at 75%. This is also an underutilized resource that's available to people who own businesses in Chicago and in the network. So yes, if you need people to work for you, like, we can send you people that we've enrolled in our program already. So we've given them a certain level of training, and they have a certain level of access and resources behind them that are going to help to make them more successful employees. But if you want to vet and bring on your own people, we can still provide up to 90% of your costs for training and onboarding new workers in your businesses as well.
Do they have to be full-time employees? Can they be contractors? Can they be part-timers?
Yes, all of the above.
Oh my.
As long as it's going to cost you something to train them and bring them on, we can reimburse for up to 90% of what it's costing you to bring them on and train them.
Okay, so hypothetically, of course, if I had a tax business and I wanted to have an intern to train her how to, prepare taxes, so I'm training her, you would reimburse me up to 90% of the cost that I spend to hire her, to have her working with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yes is the
Wow.
is the short answer. Yes.
Wow. Okay. We only got a couple more minutes. Jackie, do you have one last question before we let her close out?
No, I think Nieal answered all my questions. Thank you so much, Nieal. I'm excited already.
I am really excited for the layers of services. I'm also excited about that little last nugget she gave about the small business. Anybody under 50 employees, 90% reimbursement. That, resonated with me. Nieal, we're going to let you have the floor and close out. We only have a couple minutes. So if you have any closing words, please feel free. Whose dog is that? Yours? Is that your dog? Whose dog is it?
No dog.
Yours, Jackie?
It's my neighbors.
Oh,
It's a big one. Okay, Nieal, close us out.
I just wanted to thank all of your viewers and for signing on and hearing about our services. And I just want everyone to know, like, these services are out here. You don't have to wonder about what your next move will be or how you're going to get there when you're thinking about work or a career. So even if you decide that you don't want to do this work with KRA, please just look into it for yourself, for your family, for your friends, the people in the community, because we're here and the services are here, and we just want to make sure that these resources are going to the folks that need them, and that we are doing our part to help build healthier families and healthier communities. So thank you all for the time and for listening. And please go to kra.com and see more about what we do and how we do it. So thank you for having me, and it's been a pleasure.
Miss Smith Ross, how do they get in touch with you? What's the quickest way to get in touch with you? Is it your email?
My email address.
Okay.
Yep. nsmith-ross@kra.com.
I think I have it up here. Give it to me again.
nsmith-ross@kra.com.
Okay, I have it here. I have it here for everybody in the chat box. This is how you get in touch with her. Thank you so much. I remember seeing you 2 weeks ago, and it was so much information. You're even giving us more nuggets now. Appreciate you. You'll be hearing more from us, because maybe we want you to come somewhere else and speak and tell us great news.
I would love to. Yep, absolutely. Thank you for having me. This is my first radio show.
You wouldn't be able to tell it, because you are very communicative. You're a talker, so we loved it. It was an easy show because you really held the studio up for us. Thank you so much, Jackie. Again, thank you for co-hosting. We're gonna have to do this again. It's been a pleasure. You guys have a blessed week. Listening audience, have a blessed week. We'll be here next week, same time, 6 p.m. Be blessed.